Okay, well, welcome to Makeover Monday, week 35. Watch me viz. I assume everybody can hear me on the live stream. Can somebody quick leave a message to let me know if you can hear me? Okay, I'm going to assume that you can. Um, yep, okay. Can anybody hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it. So this week, it looks like we're looking at data for batsmen versus left arm pace for batsmen in India, which is cricket, which I have absolutely no idea about. So hopefully this doesn't turn into too much of a disaster. So I haven't looked up anything ahead of time. I kind of have a rough idea that batsman is someone that hits the ball with the bat, and a left arm pace, I'm assuming, is like a bowler or like a pitcher in baseball. So, so let's get going here. So the Makeover Monday dataset on data.world is down here. I've already downloaded it, so just to speed things up a bit, the original visualization doesn't really tell me a whole lot. It just says batting averages versus dismissals since WC 2015. I'm assuming WC means World Cup. I don't know if there's a World Cup um, in cricket or not, but I'm going to assume there is for this. And then there's a link to a couple of articles here. So I have no idea what this is about. So I'm just going to switch over to this source article here and see what it says. Okay, so it's about can India beat Australia? I accept. Everybody loves their cookies. Okay, how can India beat Australia? Okay, right. So it says openers win the toss versus a chase. Okay, so this doesn't really tell me anything about these two statistics in particular. So let me go over to the other link. So this first one looks like it's just kind of a preview of maybe an upcoming match or something about between India and Australia. So, okay, and then this takes me to the same page, which isn't particularly useful either. So maybe if I go into stats, let me try stats here and see if there's any like definitions of things. So maybe let me try batting records and see what it says. Okay, right. So this is not particularly helpful either. So why don't I just kind of look up cricket batting average. Let me try that. Cricket batting average. All right, so batting average cricket. Okay. Right, so in cricket, a player's batting average is the total number of runs they have scored divided by the number of times they've been out, usually given to 2 decimals. Okay, so usually to 2 decimals. So in our data set, it looks like it's to 1 decimal. That's fine, we can fix that. Since the number of runs a player scores and how often they get out are primarily measures of their own playing ability, blah, blah, blah. It's a good average. Okay, so that's pretty similar to baseball, except the denominator is different. Okay, that's fine. And let's see. So the highest batting average of all time looks like 99.94. Now, I'm going to assume that theoretically there is no limit to the score you can get or to the batting average you can get because you could score, 1,000. I guess theoretically you could score 1,000 and only get out once or never get out. So, but it looks like 100 is pretty exceptional. Okay, let's see. Is there anything about? Let's see. Looks like there's measured 3 different ways depending on the competition. Okay, interpretation. Okay, first class one day. All right. So let's see what else there is. All right, so let's leave that for now. I wonder if it says kind of what generally a good all-arounders are more prominent bowlers than batsmen, typically average between 20 and 30. Most players have a career batting average in the range of 20 to 40. So I'm going to assume anybody above 40 is above average. Okay. And then dismissals. So cricket dismissal. Let's see if there's a definition for this as well. Okay, in cricket, a dismissal occurs when a batsman's period of batting is brought to an end by the opposing team. Okay, so that's the same as baseball then. Easy enough. Okay, so let's have a look at the data. So this is trying to compare the batting average against dismissals. Okay, so batting average versus dismissals. I guess one of the things I don't know is how many times, how many matches were there, how many times did this player, Virat Kohli, I guess his name is, how many times he actually batted. So let's see if there's something in here. I feel like I need some more data here. Okay, ESPN cricket info, win the toss. Okay, maybe I'll go back to this. Where was that page? So stats, players. Okay. So let's look up this. I'm going to look up this first person. It is Virat Kohli. Okay. Okay, batting and fielding averages, bowling averages. All right. So average 53. Okay, what does it say on here? Averages since the World Cup of 2015. But how can it be 100 if it doesn't come anywhere close to that? So average. Okay. After work career, recent matches. All right. Let's see. Let me look up him. Bowling average, career stats. Let me try that. Nope, that's the same thing. Okay. Let me see if I can find any information about this. I'm a bit reluctant to kind of make some judgments on this data without kind of knowing what the baseline number is. So I do not accept. All right. So, and this doesn't give me just this person. Fantastic. Okay, so that was a useless search. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to just understand who scored the most runs. Okay. Does it say at the World Cup or since the World Cup of 2015? Okay. Let me just try this. Okay. Oh, this is better. Career stats. Oh, that's the same. Same as I saw before. So test. I think the M must mean matches, innings. I wonder if NO means number of outs. There's very little definitions for these things. Okay, let me go back here, see what it says. I still don't get where they're getting the 100 from, because I can't. I see he's a right arm medium, but the visualization says how are they doing versus a left arm pace. So I would need like detailed stats on every time he was batting, what type of bowler was he up against. And I don't see where that is. So, okay, so let me try that. Okay, let's see here, bowling averages. Oops, so that's bowling. Now we're on batting and fielding averages. Okay, there's not much more information about this. Okay, I'm just worried about the baseline because this could be, this 100 number could be, you know, who knows how many matches that is. So it might be interesting to look at, you know, the average divided by maybe the number of left, what is it called, left armed bowlers that he faced. So yeah, so I need to, okay, well, it doesn't look like I could find any of that information. So let's just start building something then. So the original visualization and the links to the data show very, very little for people that don't understand the data. And unfortunately, I can't find out anymore. So first class. So these are the different match types. Player rankings, crickets, batting average. Oh, I think that's where I just was. No, that's baseball. Dealt with that. Okay. Let's see what this shows here. Okay, back to the same page. Oh, here's this guy again. So average 2010 to 20. It really sucks that I can't get this broken out by season or anything like that. This is quite a terrible website. Yeah, this is not very good. Player stats by match. Cricket. Okay, maybe this will have a bit more. Find a player list of all. Okay, so this was. Okay. So not out. Okay, so NO means not out. So that's really good. So 145 innings. He only didn't get out 10 times. Fielding, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see, 145 innings. Let's see what this says. Oh, okay, here we go. Maybe we're onto something now. So since the World Cup, I'm just going to try this and see what it says. So is there 2015, 2014, 15? Yeah, there's nothing that says it's particularly a World Cup. Okay, let me just try this. Okay, runs. Okay, well, the heck with it. So, okay, that's good. Let's go to the sheet here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the default number format for the average to 2 decimals. So now I should see the batsman and the average, and we get something like that. Okay, so this just shows that Virat Kohli is the best, and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay. So, and then dismissals, that should just be a whole number. So, format. Okay, just to make sure. Is there anything in this article? India's openers aren't the greatest against left-arm seamers and other than. Okay. Well, this is interesting. So, oh no, that's a different player. Rohit Sharma. Says that person listed. Rohit Sharma says the average is 52, but this says 46 against left armers. So something's not quite right there. So the data doesn't seem to match. All right. So this is innings, wickets, economy rate, bowling average. I like these big numbers. Those look pretty cool. Okay. Again, not particularly helpful for, well, I guess on the original, the icons of the people are just completely unnecessary. Not sure why that's even important. But this says versus, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by just looking at a simple scatter plot and see what it looks like. All right, and we see, what do I have on text? So there's only 5 players, so this isn't very helpful. And again, it doesn't say why it's these 5 players. Maybe they're the top 5 on the India team. Okay, so let's go to teams, and let's go to India, and players, and it just gives a player index. It doesn't tell me who the best players are or anything like that. So, okay, so let's go back one. Okay, stats. Batting records. Okay, so these must be all-time records. Okay, records against, career batting average, current players. Okay, let's just try this. Okay. Right, so who do we have in this list? Let's just switch back. Okay. Batting averages, current players. V. Kohli, okay. Kedar. Okay, so this isn't very helpful. So that's test matches. Maybe I need to go to a different, I don't know. Let's just look at the 2020. Okay, current players. HS must be high score. Be nice if they had like definitions for the acronyms. Okay. So 2 100s, 50s, okay, runs. So I think here, what was it? It was so number runs scored divided by number of times out. So batting average. So I can figure out the number of times out by taking the runs scored and divided by the batting average. So runs scored 1389 divided by, so that should be 33 times out. Okay, and then in here it says 1 time out. Great. This doesn't make any sense at all. And there's no like overall average or anything, which is also stupid. Bowling. Let's see. Not outs, 19. All right, so I don't know. I kind of give up. The data is clearly not dense enough to make any kind of comparisons, I don't think. So what could I do here? Maybe I'll just do something simple and let the person choose between the two. I'm assuming dismissals. The lower the dismissals, the better. Could somebody tell me on the chat, is the lower the number of dismissals better or worse? I'm going to assume the number of dismissals is lower. And okay, so let me rename this. Let's call this no, I know it's all versus left-handed. Okay. Right, so I'm going to create a parameter. Let's measure. Okay, lower is better. Okay, thank you. And I'm going to make it a string and a list, and I'm going to just add values from, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to add them from, let's call this average and dismissals. What I think I'm going to do is, since I don't really understand a lot about the data, I'm going to maybe just create a bar chart, just a simple bar chart, and allow the user to sort of just pick the metric that they're interested in, and then maybe try out some animations or something like that. So, okay, so what I want to do here is created my parameter for my average or dismissal. So I'm going to create a quick calculated field that is, I'm just going to call it metric. And case, I could just do an if measure parameter equals average, then average, else dismissals. Okay, let me just make sure this works. Right, so that's good. And then dismissals. Okay, good. All right, and then I want to, let's see, now I need to sort it the opposite direction. So I want to say, call this my sorter. If measure name, measure parameter equals average, then average, else minus dismissals. And hit OK. And now if I sort by this metric, so come on, sort. Oh, there we go. So I want to sort by field. By the field name is sorter and descending. Okay, there, good. So now it's sorting properly. That's good. And now I want to create two separate measures for the formatting, because I want it to just show just the number 1 if they're looking at dismissals, and then for average I want them to show it with 2 decimals. So I'm going to create 2 separate calculated fields. So I'm going to call this one average label. If measure parameter equals average, then average. And that's going to return a null otherwise. And I'm going to format this to default properties number format. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to call this dismissals label. Okay. But then this one, I want to default properties number format. I want it to be no decimals. So now what I can do is I can put both of these on the label shelf and put them on the same row. And now when I choose this, the formatting works nice and neat. So you can see the formatting on when I pick averages is 2 decimals, and when I do dismissals, it's just 1 number. So that means I can go ahead and I can hide the header. And why not just do some formatting while I'm in here, while I'm thinking of it. So I'm going to get rid of my grid lines, get rid of my, maybe I'll make my 0 line, maybe a dark, maybe something like that. Did that work? Oh no, that's my 0 line. I don't want to do that. This should be none. And then my column divider, I'm going to make, oh no, that's going to put it on both sides. Okay, I don't want that. So I want to get rid of my axis, say my columns. Should be okay. My rows, I want no axis rulers. And my columns, I want, let's see, okay, no, here are my rows. Let's see if I make it like that, make it black and thicker. Okay, I'm just trying to put a nice little line in there. All right. I like when the words are in uppercase, so that's okay. And I want to replace that, so I'm just going to replace Batsmen. There we go. The benefit of doing that is everywhere that Batsman is used, it'll update the calculation. Okay, so there we go. So we got something really simple now. And that allows us to flip between those two. So now what I want to do is I want to put, let's see, measure names, measure value, no, not measure values. I want to put measure names on the label instead. And then filter, so, okay. So this is just showing me the 2 metrics, but I want these to be uppercase, so let me rename. All right, so I'm going to make this a parameter to allow the user to maybe pick something that looks, just something that looks a bit better. So I'm going to untick the header, and I'm going to turn off the tooltip because I don't want them to be able to click on anything. Maybe I'll make the text a bit bigger. I'll explain what I'm going to do in a second. Okay, so the idea is I'm going to kind of have like a dashboard. And maybe I'll leave the phone layout there. What I want to do is I'm going to start with a vertical container. Yep, float it. And my dashboard doesn't need to be this size, so let me just do like maybe 800 by 600. It's probably way too big as well. And it doesn't need to be very big. and then this is going to be 0, 0, and then what size did I make it again? 600 by 400. Oops. That would be a very big dashboard. Okay, and then here I'm just going to stick a title in there for now. Okay, and I'm going to stick in a blank object. And then I'm going to stick in my sheet. And you see my parameter comes in here, but I don't want that. So let me remove from the dashboard. Okay, and then hide the title and fit entire view. Okay, great. I'm going to go to the outside container and add maybe 20 points of, there we go, gives me a nice little padding around the outside. And then this title, I want that to be, so let's edit the height and let's make it 10 pixels. And then I'm going to make the background maybe like a light gray. Maybe I'll make it 9 pixels. And make it darker. So let's make it like black maybe. Okay, something like that. So what I'm going to do now is I need to put the buttons in here somewhere. So I want to have 2 buttons in here that say what to do. So let's see, so this is, I don't know if this is India's top batsman or what does it say? Why does it pick these particular batsmen? Okay. Mitchell Stark versus India's openers. Okay. Okay, let me just do it like that for now. And then I need to put these buttons in somewhere. So I'm going to bring in another container inside of this container, and I'm going to put my sheet in there and move this one to the left of it. Okay. So these are going to end up being like 2 buttons for me. Yeah, I don't like the way that looks though, so let me undo. Okay, so I need to somehow put these 2 buttons in here. That's fine. Maybe I'll flip this around, have it go down the view, and maybe I can stick it off to the side here. So let's put this sheet in here, put this sheet there. So I could say something like, who has the best, who has the most, I don't know. So what I want to do is update this parameter. So it's going to go from sheet 2. I'm going to update the measure parameter with measure name. So let's call this update measure parameter. So now when I click on one of these, it should update. There we go. So that works nice and neat. That's kind of what I want. I want it to be able to do that. The problem is now, how do I get it to look right? Let's see. I wonder if I don't think I want to spend the time creating any buttons or anything like that. So let's show the title. Okay, and then maybe down here I could put something like my. So let me move this here, and then I can put a text box under here. This is my data source is what? What's our data source here? It is espncricinfo.com. espncricinfo.com. Okay, so that's going to take up. I'm going to try to get this on a single line. All right, maybe I'll just make the dashboard a bit bigger. So dashboard, let's make it maybe. There we go. So maybe I'll do is I'll put maybe an ever so slightly darker font. Yeah, something like that I like. Okay. Okay, fit entire view. Right, so let me stick another blank in, or no, I need to do that. I could put layouts, padding. Okay, that's good. So let me go back to the sheet now and start doing some formatting. So I want to get rid of the shading, and I want to get rid of the, I guess the borders are okay, but maybe what I'll do is I'll put them around the cell so it looks more like a box. So let's do something like that. And then, okay, so let's do that. I should have just done it here on cell. That would have been easier. Okay, there we go. And then let's go ahead and center align this text. In here, okay, so I don't need that in the tooltip. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so tooltip, so Batsmen is, let's put that maybe like 12 point, and then this is going to be my that, and then let's put, so this is going to say insert and then my parameter. So let's see what that looks like. Switch it to average. It should now say, okay, that's good. All right, so that's formatted, and what I want to do now is I want to color code these based on the one I picked. So, okay. Color text, whatever, terrible field name. So let's say measure parameter equals average. And I'm going to put that on color. Okay, but that's not what I want. I want to be able to click on one of these and then it delete. Right, so when both of these are average, I want it to be, let's see, does India's team have a, so India cricket uniform colors. Okay, so shades of blue. So let's see what color that is. This looks like a different color blue though. Okay, India, why is it Jersey blue? Let's do images. And I think what I'm going to do is maybe I'll take this, let's see, cricket jersey. Well, that's not very helpful either. Okay, I think maybe what I'll do is I'll just get an image and pick the colors from it. So maybe if I go in shopping, maybe that'll help. Oh, here we go. This is better. Okay, so this is from Nike. So if I think I have a design. It is okay, color palette generator by Tableau Magic. So let me that didn't help. Wonder how long it's going to take me to now see ads for this. I bet you not very long. Okay. I just want the color. Do it the easy way. And then if I go here, I can go to this screenshot and okay, 5 colors. So this blue looks like the right one. So I'm just going to copy that. I think that's the blue I want to go with. Okay, so I want that to be my blue. And then maybe these dismissals I'll have as maybe a gray. Or the one we, oh, this doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's make that gray. And then if I switch the parameter, I should now be able to change the colors. So let's go to the sheet, and then dismissals should be the blue. And then this should be the gray. Okay, so now if I go back and forth, so I see that, dismissals average, and then if I switch this, I should see the color of the text switch. Okay, good. Perfect. So okay, so now we're more in line with the theme of the data. Okay, so maybe I'll move this down another line as well. I'm just trying to see if any way I can save myself some space here. Make the chart slightly larger. Okay. That's fine. And I'm going to stick a horizontal line between these. So hit it width. Let's make that 9. And let's make that black. And I want padding on either side. So, come on. Let's make it maybe, I want the top to be 0, the left to be maybe 10, maybe 10, and let's make this one 0. And then on this one, I'm going to make the bottom 0. Oops. That brings that closer. And then this container, I'm going to add some padding at the top. And then this one the same as well. I'm just trying to give it a bit of structure here. So if I make it 20, and then maybe set the bottom to 10. Let's see, because this one, yeah, now that lines up nice. Okay, good. So they choose a stat. I want it to switch. Okay, good. So that's working nice and neat. I think the text here is a bit too large. So let me make this maybe 14. And now I just need to get rid of this highlighting. So let me go to this sheet. I'm going to create a calculated field called dummy. And let's see. Let's just put the word dummy in there. Put that on detail. Okay, and then what I want to do now is I think this is how to do it, Worksheet Action. So filter. I want to go from sheet 2 to sheet 2, run on single select, and this is going to allow me to, basically what this is doing is it's kind of tricking Tableau into thinking that it's running an action that doesn't really do anything. So you see there, it just kind of gets rid of it just puts the color on and that's it. All right. So maybe I'll call this India's openers. Versus, what is it called? India's openers versus, what are they called? Left arm pace. Is it left arm pace bowlers? What the heck does that even mean? Left arm pace bowlers. Okay, yeah. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. All I'm trying to do is, there's not really much to do with this data. So I'm just trying to allow the user a bit of functionality. I wonder if I turn the animations on. So that's under Format, Animations. And if I turn these on, and why don't I make them like kind of slow? Let's see what happens. Okay, that looks pretty neat. So let me make it like 0.75. This is like crazy annoying. Like, why can't I hit 0.75 and tab and have it work? Okay, I like that. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about all I can do with this. I'm not super proud of it, but also, I don't know much about Cricut, and I don't want to make any assumptions about the data that I can't prove. So I want to just make it as simple as possible, top to bottom, as best to worst, and just allows the user to pick a stat. So let me run through some of your questions real quick and see what they are. Let's see. Okay, wow, lots of comments here. So let me see if there's any in particular. Okay, a lot of stuff about what these left arm pacer. Okay, unlike baseball, that's fine. Somebody said read the chats. Well, I'm not going to read the chats while I am working on this, so I'm not going to do that. Let's see. Yeah, I understand that there's not just 3 outs. I got that. Okay, and then it looks like. Okay, so it's left arm bowler. So I think I'm gonna draw this left arm bowlers. I think that's probably best. India's openers versus left arm bowlers. Okay, the data on Crick Buzz is overall. Okay, thank you for that. Lower number of dismissals is better. Yeah, I think I saw that one earlier. Okay, lower number of no lower dismissal means they can handle left arm pace bowlers better. Okay, great, thank you. That's very useful. So I have it kind of right. And then it looks like, okay. All right, and then somebody says, what is he trying to do? Well, I'm not quite sure what that question means. Yeah, so Charlie responded, just trying to tidy things up. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to make it look half decent. I don't really know much about cricket, so I'm just treating this just like a simple bar chart activity. Yeah, so sorry I didn't come up with anything super insightful, but hopefully you learned a few things maybe about the calculations that you need to use to always sort the chart from best to worst. How to use a parameter action to allow yourself to switch between the 2 stats, and how you can de-highlight it and that sort of thing. Maybe animations if you hadn't used those before. And this should be left arm pace bowlers. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I think I'm done. I'm going to stop there. Thank you for listening in, and I hope you learned something today. And feel free to leave any comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me where I messed up. If you actually have a useful data source for figuring out exactly, really just much more info, much more data, sorry, about these particular batters versus left arm pace bowlers, and kind of where they would have gotten those stats from, because there's very little context in this data for me. So yeah, so I guess that's all that I have for today. Thanks again for attending, and yeah, I think that's it. Everybody have a good day. Thanks, and I'll be back next week.